Alright, hello guys, Beastie here with another YouTube video for y'all today. Now it's time for the Super Bowl predictions. Woo! Let's go Super Bowl! Chiefs, Buccaneers, Super Bowl 55. Probably the two GOATs in the NFL of all time, because that's in the GOAT. Greatest of all time. We got the two GOATs going against each other today. And it's going to be a fun Super Bowl. Let's go get it, let's go. Alright, first we do have to talk about these AFC Championship games because that's going to really help guide on who's going to win tonight. Let's go. Alright, so let's start off with the first game last week. We got the Buccaneers. We got the Packers. We got them going head to head. And the Buccaneers came on top. Let's go. Let's go, Tom Brady. Let's give a little round of applause. So basically, whole bunch of holding calls, not called. And at the end of the game, ends on a holding call. Now, I'm not mad at the calls, okay? So as a referee, you gotta look. There's a difference between holding in here and holding like this. There's a massive, massive difference. If I'm holding you like this the whole time, they're not gonna call it. And even when I try to get away, if you're holding me like right here, they can barely see it. We're real time, people moving as fast as these NFL athletes are moving. So yes, you slow it down, you're gonna see that they were holding a lot of the time. But when you're holding inside like this to hold, it's very hard to see going in real time. But when you have the Packers one, it was pretty much the holds were fairly similar, like in how much they stopped the receiver. But when it shows like this, oh, he's holding. It's clear. The referee on the wholly opposite end of the field was able to see that direct view. So I don't mind the call there. Now, sure, were there calls that should have been called? Yes. But also, let's go back now. The Packers had other opportunities to win the game. So even if you do think those calls were bad, the Packers had many times they could have won this game. They had more opportunities. Right before halftime, they allowed a 50-yard touchdown to Scotty Miller. No reason that should have happened. No reason. Then you go towards the end of the game, fourth down, and 4th and 8 with about 2 minutes left. You could either kick the field goal, which still makes it a touchdown game. You still have to go down and score a touchdown. Or you go for it down by 8 and you give Tom Brady the ball backed up. Instead, they kick the field goal and then Tom Brady's also not backed up, and the Packers never saw the ball again. That was an awful call. I'd have maybe understood it if a field goal could have tied it or won them the game after that field goal. Like, say they were down by 5 points. They kick that field goal, and that makes it a field goal game. But you still had to get the touchdown. I hated the call. I hated it. And this shows one thing. There's two, but the one I'm going to combine with the Chiefs-Bills game. Aaron Rodgers has to lead his team better. He does. He does. He's not very good at lifting his team up. When his team's down, he's usually down as well, and he's usually pissed off and does not lead his team well. When his team gets down, a captain's job, a quarterback's job is to lift their team back up. Aaron Rodgers has never been very good at that throughout his entire career, and I think that ultimately what lost in that game. And it's something else as well relating to the field goal. But let's go to the Bills-Chiefs. This was an annihilation. This was absolutely domination by the Chiefs. That game was not close. The Bills were winning 9-0. It was a very ugly 9-0. It should not have been 9-0. And then after that, the Chiefs went on a massive run. I think it got to 20s or 30s to like 9. It was like 38-24, I think, the final score of that game. It was a complete massacre. And the Bills got the first 9 points. They also got the last 9 points. So 18 of the Bills' points came at the very beginning towards the very end. Josh Allen played okay. I really liked a lot of his throws. And what he was dealt with, I thought they played fine. I mean, his line was not protecting him, and the receivers could not get open downfield for the life of them. So I'm actually not mad at Josh Allen's performance. I thought Josh Allen actually made a couple insane throws. There was that one crazy throw to T.J. Yeldon. Josh Allen, I think, played a good game, man, honestly. Just his receivers could not get open down the field, and that allowed him to hold the ball on too long. That was his big mistake. He held on the ball too long and he tried to make something happen, and he took a couple massive sacks for it. But Yeah, that was pretty much. He held on the ball too long, took some big sacks. He just had to throw the ball away there, but his line was not protecting him, and his receivers were not getting open, and they have no run game. So it was all Josh Allen, and Josh Allen did the best he could. They got 24 points. Chiefs played a hell of a game. Chiefs played a fantastic game, and I cannot wait. Now, the Bills did not do much to get after Mahomes. Now, you can't miss Mahomes because Mahomes shreds it, but it was just a straight-up boring pass rush. To beat the Chiefs, you have to do stunts on the D-line. You can only send 4. I agree, you should only send 4. Every once in a while, send a fifth guy. But you should probably only send 4. But you have to put like 6 men down and make Mahomes guess where they're coming from. Run stunts where one guy will crash down, another guy will loop around, shoot the gap. You have to be creative with your defensive line play calling against the Chiefs. The Bills was just a very boring 4-man rush, tried to beat the guys, and they didn't do it. Like I said, to beat the Chiefs is you have to get pressure on Mahomes, and you have to be able to sit guys back. But to get pressure on Mahomes, you need to stimulate blitzes. Now, I'm not saying what blitzes you can't, like what stimulation you can do. I'm not in the NFL. I'm not an NFL defensive coordinator. But the Bills did not even try to simulate something. Like, if they tried and it didn't work, then whatever. I'm glad they tried something. It was boring. It was boring. They had 2 edge rushers trying to beat the tackles one-on-one, and then you had the 2 D tackles trying to break it free inside one-on-one, and one was a double coverage. Double team. And the Bills also decided to kick field goals instead of going for touchdowns. So basically what I'm trying to say here, and now combining the 2 games, and that's what's going to decide who wins this. And this could be taken as a life lesson. The aggressive play calls won both games. The Chiefs were more aggressive than the Bills. The Chiefs won. The Buccaneers were more aggressive than the Packers. The Buccaneers won. That's what it takes to win in the NFL. You got to be aggressive. You have to show faith in your team. Even in some of these other games, the aggressive play calling won. Like, aggressive play calling is what wins games. Not overly aggressive. You can't be Bill O'Brien last year and run a fake punt at your own 20-yard line. You got to punt that ball away. But when you're at like a 4th and 2 or in the Packers situation, a 4th and 8 at the end of the game, you need the touchdown. You gotta wing it. Even a 4th and, like, say you're 4th and goal in the 2. I think you should go for that no matter the situation of the game, unless the field goal puts you up by 2 scores. Unless the field goal puts you up by 2 scores or 3 scores, you gotta go for the touchdown there. And the aggressive teams won, and that's what I think who wins today. Who's the more aggressive team? Now, I think both teams will be fairly aggressive because you got Tom Brady, who's been here 1,000 times, so Tom Brady's not going to hold anything back. Tom Brady's not going to be nervous for the stage. So shots will be taken by the Buccaneers. And Mahomes and the Chiefs did it last year, and by doing aggressive play calls is how they won that game last year in the Super Bowl and how they won all their other games. So I think the Chiefs are going to play very aggressively as well. So I think both teams are going to play aggressive. So now it's just what team is the better team, basically. I think the Buccaneers, honestly, out of every team in the NFL, I think the Buccaneers have the best. Besides the Raiders, because they match up very well. The Chiefs and the Raiders do. But any team that actually could compete for a Super Bowl to take down the Chiefs, I think is the Buccaneers. I really do. You have a phenomenal quarterback. In my opinion, he's probably still top 5. Like, Tom Brady is nuts. And then you got... Well, no, he's probably not quite top 5 because you got studs like Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson. He's probably right up there, like 6, 7, 8. Like he's right up there. But you got amazing quarterback, amazing weapons with Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate. And their defense is nuts. Their secondary is playing better. Their defensive front is nuts. Their outside linebackers are nuts. Their middle linebackers good. They don't have a lot of holes. The offensive line is probably their biggest hole, and they've been doing fine in the playoffs. And the Chiefs pass rush, I don't think is awfully scary. Like, granted, they just shredded the Bills, so you know. And I think they have the possibility because of so much great people they have in their linebacker and defensive line core, they can run some of those stimulated stunts, those stimulated pressures. Stimulated pressures is where you don't send more pressure, but you stimulate, and like I said, Mahomes won't know where it's coming from. And you're going to have to confuse the offensive line with their assignments. Now, I think the Buccaneers have a great opportunity to do that. That being said, I think the Chiefs win this game. I think the Chiefs are the better team. I do have to say it's going to be exciting seeing the first home game in the playoffs. First for the Super Bowl, first home Super Bowl game. Now, granted, I don't think the fans are going to... It's going to be a mix of fans, but just a bit being a home Super Bowl, I think, is going to give the Buccaneers an advantage. I really do. And I would not underestimate the Buccaneers in this one. This game is not going to be a blowout by any means. I'm going to take the Chiefs 34-30 because I like Mahomes, and that offense is just nasty. I don't think you can actually stop that offense. So 34-30, I think both teams are going to be aggressive. I think both teams are going to take shots. I'm going to take 34-30 Kansas City Chiefs. I'm rooting for Tom Brady. I want to see Tom Brady win his 7th Super Bowl. To be honest with you, I'm rooting for the Buccaneers, but I have my prediction on the Chiefs. And just going back to this aggressive play calling, it really goes towards life too. To end off this video, you gotta take chances in life. That's how you get somewheres. You could choose to be safe, but how much of that do you consider succeeding? So that's settling for a $70,000 job. Instead, you could take a chance to get $120,000. Right? That's just a quick example. All of these people in our society took chances. They took shots. They put themselves out there to get themselves ahead. Same thing in football. The teams that were aggressive, the teams that put themselves out there, those teams got ahead, and now the most aggressive teams in the NFL are in the Super Bowl. You gotta be aggressive. If you're a guy and you want to go after a girl, not like super overly like aggressive towards the girl or whatnot, but you just need to shoot your shot. You need to be confident. You need to shoot your shot. That gives you the best chance to get that girl. Shoot your shot. Be confident. And if you're trying to excel on what you do in life and trying to get yourself ahead to get a raise, you got to be able to put yourself out there. You got to be confident, and you have to take shots. And so that's what you could really take from those AFC Championship games. And I think the more aggressive team is going to win tonight. I think both teams will be aggressive. I think the more aggressive team will win tonight. I think it's the Chiefs because their shots on offense, I think, will be too much for the Bucs to handle. Last time they played, Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards in the first quarter. So, but tell me your guys' predictions down in the comment section below. I cannot wait to hear what all you guys have to think. And see you all next time. Peace out, y'all.